Hello, hello, and welcome into the PHNX Suns pregame show brought to you by our friends at the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you know whenever we are live. I'm Lindsey Smith, and I'm joined by Saul, Bookman, and Espo. And guys, tonight it's the Suns and the Jazz facing off for the very first time this season, the first of two times this week. So we've got Suns and Jazz here in Phoenix tonight, then Suns and Jazz in Utah on Wednesday.
So excited for a matchup with nobody playing in it.
Yeah, can we really call this the Jazz?
Yeah.
Like, is it fair to call this the Utah Jazz right now?
I mean, first of all, Utah Jazz is like an oxymoron
That's
anyway, so.
They don't allow jazz in Utah.
People in Utah don't even know what jazz is.
They're not allowed to have fun. No fun zone. No
People
fun
in Utah
zone.
don't have any souls. So.
Wow. Wow.
You have to have soul to understand jazz.
That's fair.
And they shut everything down at 8 o'clock. You don't get to really know a person until after midnight.
No. I don't know about
right,
that
Shane?
one.
Yeah, buddy.
No.
Shane's like, don't put me into this one. I'm
I don't
not a
want
part of
anything to
this.
do
Ski ball, Scottsdale, 1 a.m., baby. Let's
Oh
go.
my gosh.
I love that Saul acts like he was out at 1 a.m.
I was in Scottsdale.
Till 9?
Till like 10.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought.
I was close. Yeah, I mean, we could just get right into the injury report because at the end of the day, that's what's the biggest thing about tonight's game. So the Utah Jazz, anyone that you actually wanted to see is not going to be playing in tonight's game. So I'll list them off for you guys in case you haven't seen it. Mike Conley, Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, and then these three guys were questionable earlier today but are now out. Bojan Bogdanovic, Joe Ingles, and Royce O'Neal.
How about John Stockton and Carl Malone? Not going to see them either?
Well, John Stockton is banned from arenas, so that's not going to work.
That's true. Jeff Hornacek, we're going to see him tonight? No?
I think they reached out to them, for a couple 10 days. But
Byron Russell, are you out there?
No, he's still getting schooled by Jordan.
There you go.
Which pains me to say. I can't believe I just said that. Wow.
And then, of course, on the Suns side, some more bad news over there. DeAndre Ayton remains out, and then Cam Payne and Jay Crowder are out after dealing with wrist injuries Saturday night against the Pacers. But
it's definitely important that you do this when you're talking about wrist injuries.
In case you didn't know what a wrist is.
Just in case. I talk with my hands. You guys know
I know
this,
you do.
Okay? It is what it is.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
But Coach today in his pregame presser said that Cam Payne, this is the bad part, right? Cam Payne will be reevaluated in 2 weeks, meaning we're for sure not seeing Cam for 2 weeks, potentially longer than 2 weeks, depending on what that reevaluation comes back with. And then Jay Crowder, this is the positive. He's considered day-to-day.
Which is insane because if you watched those two injuries, you would have thought for sure
it was the opposite.
Jay Crowder was the guy out indefinitely after he hit the ground, popped up, and ran straight to the locker room.
Well, I mean, this just means that we're going to see more Sticks minutes at the 2 and the 3. So I'm
put him
excited.
At the 1.
Let's just do it, baby. Sticks at the 3. Let's go ahead. Let's just move. By the end of the year, he will be the starting point guard of your Phoenix Suns. Also, Blaze Megatron, I appreciate you because he says I'm 100% facts. Put that shit on a shirt.
Jews being said, what happened to Major Payne? So in that Pacers game on Saturday, I think he went in for a layup, and I think he got hit, and then he fell on it.
Correct.
And basically same thing with Jay Crowder.
Yeah, Jay's was weird too. Like the whole thing was weird.
He's always had that wrist injury though.
Yeah, it's kind of just been a little bit lingering.
I think that's the difference between the two right now is that this is a flare up, of sorts for Jay, who's been dealing with something like that before. And then, but for Cam Payne, it's a new injury. Mm-hmm. So, it's going to take a little bit of time to heal and adjust. But both of them have been to shoot around. They're still shooting. And luckily for both of them, like if this was the playoffs, I think they'd both play because it's not on their shooting hand.
Right. So, I was just going to say, like, if you want to find a silver lining, it's not the shooting hand for either of them. So that's helpful.
Yeah, they were both out there practice today. Had wrist guards on the hurt wrist, but we're still out there with the team. So that's at least positive. Josh in the chat says Sticks Kid's song has more soul than the Utah Jazz.
It's true.
Also has more chance of winning tonight than the Utah Jazz based on who's left there. So.
Yeah. And then DeAndre Ayton, you can also kind of lump him into that day-to-day
Yeah.
situation. I think on the injury report, he was listed as doubtful earlier today, but essentially he's day-to-day. So hopefully we'll see him back sooner than later, as well as Jay Crowder. So that's the injury situation going on tonight. It very well could look completely different for Wednesday night's game. It kind of seems like the Jazz were like, here's a bunch of guys that are a little banged up, second night of a back-to-back for us. Let's just take this L and regroup, and maybe on Wednesday in our house, we'll bring everybody back and try and get
How
a
many of
W.
them are out due to COVID protocols?
I don't think any of them are.
Okay.
I
Just
think they're all
Just
injuries.
injuries?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So every single one is an injury. And I think technically, like I said, a lot of them could potentially come back
Look,
by Wednesday.
They should be giving the Suns an easy win tonight because they screwed them last night by missing that last second shot against the Warriors. Could have given the Suns even more padding to be the best team in the NBA.
That was a close game,
It
though.
was.
I was really pulling for Utah last night.
I
I'm
was
not gonna
too.
lie.
Damn Bogdanovich.
I can't ever pull for Utah in anything.
I get
In
that.
any sport, anything. Like I hate Salt Lake City that much. I really do. It's like
Not a skier.
like no, I just hate that city. It's just so fucking boring. Like it's the worst city to be stuck in. I know we talk about Cleveland and Detroit. No, it's Utah. Salt Lake, unless you like going to ski, which I get, a lot of people do, so cool. But Salt Lake itself, if you're in the city, good
there
luck.
are plenty of other places you can go ski that also have great
Yes.
cities around them.
Flagstaff.
Technically, yes.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I do want to ask you guys, kind of with all of the injuries right now and knowing that campaign's going to be out for at least 2 weeks. We've been talking a lot about different trade scenarios and possibilities and what this team needs and what it maybe should be focusing on. Now that we know that campaign is going to be out for at least 2 weeks, does this swing the pendulum? Because we've been wanting to bolster the guard situation and the wing situation. Does this swing the pendulum further over to focusing more on getting an additional or different or whatever situation on the
Hell
guard
yes.
side?
It's time for James Jones to be Wayne Brady, and let's make a deal, damn it. Let's figure out a way to pick up a backup two or one or two, kind of the combo guard position. You were going to be looking at it anyways 2 weeks from now. You might as well expedite it, because if I have to see numerous Elfrid Payton minutes over the next 2 weeks, it's not going to be pretty. I'm going to be very upset in these post-game shows.
I agree. I think a backup guard, because you just never know. Like if CP3 went down, what's it going to look like? Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, like, so you have to be prepared there. Oh, I'm not comfortable whatsoever with having Elfrid Payton as your third or even at times second option. Like, so you need somebody else that can either handle the ball or can at least shoot at a high clip, Eric Gordon, and you know, be able to execute. Because we were fooled in the preseason into thinking that Landry Shamet was going to be the end-all, be-all. He's not. He's not even a playmaker. He can't even make a shot. He can barely pass the ball. That's not the dude. You're not that guy. So that's kind of my thought. We need to find a backup.
Yeah, we were talking about Landry before the show started, and just kind of the thinking when he first came to the Suns was, okay, maybe he could also play a little bit of that backup point guard if necessary. He could be a potential playmaker on this team, and it just doesn't seem like that has really come to fruition whatsoever here. A little bit over the halfway mark of the season.
I'd stagger CP3 and Book's minutes and go point Book more than I'd go Elfrid Payton or Landry Shamet in that situation.
I'm so confused by this comment by Mike B. He says, my ex is from Utah. She was a Jack Mormon. She was cool, but just not for me in more ways than one.
What, Jack as in she was like really buff?
I don't know. Apparently. Really, she got after it in the weight room. So cool. Awesome.
Do you like the the same thing that Espo just mentioned
I
about.
thought you were going to ask me if you like jacked women.
No, staggering the minutes a little bit more to have Devin playing with that second unit as
I think they already do that to a degree anyway.
Mm-hmm.
When Devin's in the game, typically, or at least midway through the first quarter, CP3 comes out, Devin's in, and then Devin takes it to the second quarter, CP3 comes back, and they kind of vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of already do that to a degree. Obviously, when you throw in a campaign or Elfrid Payton without having campaign, now you just have Elfrid Payton. You probably extend those minutes a little bit more by a couple minutes because what's the alternative? Or you just say, you know what, tonight we're playing Utah and they don't have anybody, and hopefully Landry Shamet can do the job tonight, which is a big hope.
Tonight maybe, but this is 2 weeks. Like, I would much rather see Devin Booker, have a couple 20-point games, but get 8-9 assists in the backup point guard role, get everybody involved, than seeing any Elfrid Payton. I hate to be that guy to just bash. Oh, no, I don't. That's me. But, I'd like to act like I don't want to hate on Elfrid Payton, but he can't get it done.
Yeah, but campaign isn't the one getting 8 assists a night either. You know what I'm saying? So
no, but I think
you just need to do what campaign was doing for the most part, and Devin Booker can more than do that.
Yeah, but I also think you can't tax CP3 like you did the other night. He played 41 minutes. You have to limit those minutes. And if Devin Booker can go out there and be the distributor, you're more comfortable letting Chris Paul sit a little bit longer and playing that role.
I said this a while back, about a month ago, and then sure enough, Cam Johnson got hurt that night. I said, Monty's got to start paying attention to limiting minutes because you never know when situations like this arise. And if you're going to try and wear out your team, listen, the goal is the championship and the playoffs. Like, I could give a fuck about playing 40 minutes against the Pacers, for real. I don't care. Even if they won the game by 2 points, I don't care. You need to make sure you conserve your guys' legs for the stretch run, which is coming up here in about a month or two.
Manuel says, dude was dating freaking Luisa from Encanto, which hits nice because I got a 4-year-old or 5-year-old at home. I've watched and heard the Encanto music like crazy for the last 3 weeks.
I have been meaning to watch that movie. I've been thinking, like, it's been in my head for like 2 weeks that I need to watch it. I just haven't found.
Super jacked female characters.
2 hours. Man, I'm really excited to watch that movie.
Jack meaning screwed up, apparently, according to Mike B.
Yes, so, but I prefer thinking buff, so we're going to keep doing that.
Like China.
Also, shout out to Damien, who's joining us from the UK right now.
Hey,
thanks for joining us.
I will say the thing that bums me out the most about this situation with campaign is just that he was seemingly turning the corner, right? Yeah. Like he was back to finding his rhythm. Things were kind of like working out, smoothing out in his favor. And then you throw an injury on top of it. And now it's like, okay, how much farther does this set us back as far as his just comfort level out there, I guess you could say.
Especially considering an injury is what started his season and kind of we all felt may have played a large role in him starting out slow. So it's tough, man. But that's like Coach Monty Williams said it, and like I have to tell you, it's Coach Monty Williams said.
Wait, you want to take a guess? Because we both listened. I don't know if you did. Did you listen to Coach pregame?
I did not.
Okay, you want to take a guess what he said about these injuries?
Was it just a fluke?
No, come on! Like it's the cliches that they say before every game.
Oh, damn it! I don't know.
It's just part part of the game. Like,
yeah.
And so you got but I think that is the mentality you have to go with. We can't change it, so it's unfortunate. Hopefully, this doesn't set him back as much as the hamstring did, and he comes back in a rhythm. But yeah, that's why I feel like you have to be looking at making that move sooner than later to solidify that guard spot. So whoever that is can come in and get in a groove as well.
Cue the chat with the next man up.
Next man up. We got to play our own game within our system. If we have a solid system and everyone plays their roles, all the classic cliches.
Our program is designed to make sure that everybody steps in and knows their role.
We've got depth. That was what the whole offseason was about, and James did a great job with that. Like, it's all the same stuff.
Han says, but there is no next man up. All right. Espo, you want to tell us what our friends over at DraftKings think about tonight's game?
Let's tell you. It's 11.5-point favorites for the Suns at home today, and I think that is right about perfect for tonight's game, with very few members of the Utah Jazz actually participating in basketball this evening. So it's 1 point for every day the guys that'll be playing are under contract. It's those 10-day contract guys that'll be getting a lot of time tonight for Utah.
So with all of this, now that we all kind of have a little bit of an idea, let's share what we think the outcome of tonight's game will be. And you guys let us know in the chat what you think the outcome of tonight's game will be. So
Man,
I've got the Suns by 12.
I have them by 15, but man, Saul and Gerald, ye of little faith right now. 7 and 8, huh?
What do you want me to say to that?
Well,
I just think they're not going to cover the spread. That's all.
Who on Utah is going to help Utah cover the spread?
I don't know. Who the fuck did the Pacers have, and they still stayed in the game?
They have future Suns, Torrey Craig and Justin Holiday to help them stay in the game.
All right, cool.
Sunders Dunks has Suns by 18. Paul has Suns by 20. Sean, Suns by 20.
Great value, Devin Booker stopping
Damian
by
10. Dude, that was the funniest thing ever. Yeah, I feel like we all are in agreement here that the Suns should absolutely win tonight. And then we will regroup and figure out what Wednesday kind of looks like, because both of these teams are actually, when they're at full strength or mostly healthy anyway, they're both really solid teams. So Phoenix and Utah boast 2 of the top 5 offensive ratings in the NBA this season. And they both rank in the top 3 in net rating.
Josh Hunt in the chat. Lindsey and Espo already getting their flowers ready.
That's right.
For the pregame show.
Everybody's getting flowers tonight because they're all going to have.
Oh my gosh.
That's right.
Devin's going to drop 40. And hey, wait. We just can't forget about CP3.
Nope, we cannot, because he's going to have like 15 assists.
Don't forget about Ish Wainwright. He got off the bench tonight. Flowers for you.
But he can have a carnation.
What I did find this interesting, though, because the presumptive starting lineup tonight will be CP3, Book, McHale, Cam Johnson, JaVale McGee, right?
I think that would be
that. I mean, that's what we're assuming.
Assumption, yeah.
We haven't seen that yet. That group has only played 64 possessions together of a possible 4,253 possessions this season.
Sweet.
I got you. It is Mikal Bridges, Devin Booker, Chris Paul. Oh, hold on. It's got a replay because it's a video these days.
Wait, Chris Paul's playing?
JaVale McGee and Cam Johnson. Yeah.
So there you go. That group has only played 64 possessions together all season, which is crazy to me, but we'll see how they perform tonight, having not played much on the court together.
Manuel, Lizzie be sending so many flowers because she's always RIPing everyone. This is true.
I got the flower shop on speed dial.
That's it.
Okay.
So if you get flowers from Lindsay, that ain't a good thing.
Not a good sign. One thing that I kind of saw circulating a lot after Saturday's game, and then even more so now into tonight's game that DeAndre is out, is the possibility of flipping, when DeAndre's out, flipping JaVale with Bismack, yes. From within the starting lineup to bench.
We talked about this the other night in the pregame, and I said, if JaVale didn't get his stuff together, eventually that's going to happen.
Is that too premature, though?
Right now it is, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know, though, because JaVale does play better in those short bursts. We talked about it, and Lindsay and I talked about this in the postgame. So why either you change the rotation in terms of you play him 6 minutes as a starter and then you bring in Bismack, or you start Bismack, because I think putting JaVale McGee in the right position to succeed is why he's been so successful this year. And now you're putting him in a position that we know he isn't.
Yeah, but whether he's a starter or coming off the bench, he's always playing 16 minutes. It doesn't matter either way. So he's still only using them. They're still only using him in those short bursts, regardless whether he starts or comes off the bench. So if my man's more comfortable coming off the bench than starting, then so be it. That's fine. But the rest of the game, what's the problem there? And he was not very good coming off the bench.
Well, it tends to be early foul trouble when he starts, right? And that's the concern. But as a Bismack Beyond boy, I'm all in for him getting as many minutes as possible. We voted on that in the last post game. That's what we have to refer to it. Not a Bismack boy, but a Bismack Beyond boy now is what
Who
we
voted
all
on
are.
this?
The chat did.
Yeah, it
So
was
we,
it was a
The chat did?
proposed
The 100
name change
the
from
120
from
the
a code
120
crazy
people
Josh.
watching us
All right. As
live.
long as the chat did, and it just wasn't like, oh, me and Lindsey agreed. This is what we're going to call them.
Why? If Espo and I agree, then Espo and I
Because
agree.
we have the chat to think about as well. And if they are not on board with that, then no.
If the two stars of this show decide to do something, that's how this works. So you're just going to have to deal with it.
Hey-o.
And Gerald's not here anyway, so.
You're outnumbered.
Okay, yes.
All right.
We are number one. And
Yeah,
you are
thank
not.
you.
Thank you.
So a lot of the chat is talking about tonight being a Cam
Beyond
Johnson
Boys,
game.
I don't even. Oh, okay, never mind. Go ahead.
It makes sense.
Okay, go ahead. Carry on. Never mind.
A lot of the chat is talking about tonight being a Cam Johnson game. So Long John Silver has Cam at 24.7 rebounds, 3 assists. Han, I'm sorry. Han has Cam 5 of 9 from the 3-point line. What do you guys think? We're going to get a good Cam Johnson outing tonight?
No. I don't think it's going to be that big of a night. I think it'll be a solid night, but I just don't see Cam being the breakout tonight. I think McHale, without having anybody on the defensive end to really have to focus on, I think has a very good offensive night because he knows, as we talked about last game, he can expend that energy a little bit more on the offensive end. I think McHale has a big offensive game. I think Book bounces back. CP will do CP things. I think Cam's probably 10, 12 points, 3 or 4 threes, and just a solid Cam night tonight.
I mean, it'd be nice if he got his rhythm and got back into the same flow he was in before he got hurt, Monty. So, I'm always going to be salty about that. Just because, like, why? Anyway, it'd be nice if he gets into a flow and dropped a couple buckets and helped out in a big way. But in a game like this, you don't really need it as much. You just need everybody to play solid, and I expect the Suns to do that tonight.
Mike B, I am sticking with JaVale as the first field goal tonight, especially with Gobert out. I just feel like Sun centers are going to get it going early down low. So I'm going to go with JaVale for the first field goal tonight.
I think that's a good choice. What do you think?
Devin Booker.
Devin?
Yep. Devin's been on a roll of late.
I agree Devin may have the first shot. I don't know if it'll be the first make.
Well, I wore the beanie tonight because I was like, maybe we need some Armani mode. And if it does help in any sort of way, I'll rock the beanie.
It's going to be Devin Booker. If Devin Booker gets the first shot off, it's going in.
All right. What are we betting that somebody has to do post-game between Booker and JaVale?
Whatever you want.
Something. Well, it's the two of you, so you guys got to decide.
One of us has to sing.
You want to sing for real?
I don't want to because I'm not going to lose. So
what happens if neither of you win?
Then nobody has to do
wash.
Anything. Actually, you have to do something.
No.
Yeah. It's a win-win-win.
So somebody's singing.
Sure. Yeah, I think so.
Unless one of you guys comes up with something better, just tweet them at us. We'll decide. If you guys come up with something better, tweet us during the game and we'll pick something good.
Webster's definition of Esposito: to shit can good ideas, to buzzkill. I'm fine with that.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Anything else in the chat going on right now?
Nope.
All right, guys. Well, anything else you want to mention about tonight's game? I know we're kind of getting out here a little bit early, but like I said, with all these injuries, it's kind of just one of those games where it's like,
it's just like one of those games where you just want them to start, get it over with.
It's gonna be what it's gonna be, and we'll figure out what that looks like as it goes.
It sucks if you're a Jazz fan and you went to the game today.
Yeah.
You know what it actually sucks for? This game is on NBA TV, so enjoy, America. You get the husk of the Utah Jazz versus 2/3 of the Phoenix Suns. Enjoy.
I'm kind of surprised that they didn't swap it.
Yeah.
Like they always do those sometimes last minute things when you know it's just going to be a really bad game.
They probably just figured, the Suns are the number one team. We'll showcase them a little. Han says, used in a sentence, I Esposito'd Cam as a $90 million signing. All right. I'm fine with it. Go ahead, Han. You can continue it.
Well, with a win tonight, the Suns would move to 37-9 on the season, which would tie as the team's best start in franchise history through the first 46 games of a season. So fingers crossed for a win so that we can have that little box checked off on an awesome season of things that we're
Woo.
checking off the list of accomplishments on. Like I said, you guys can tweet us throughout the game by following us on Twitter at PHNX_Suns. I myself am at Lindsey Smith AZ. Saul is at Saul_Bookman. Espo is at Espo. And as always, we'll be right back here after the final buzzer to do a fun post game for you guys. Hopefully hanging out in the PHNX VIP lounge. Until then, check out gophnx.com and become a member today because you should. It's a lot of fun over here, and we want you guys to be in on the fun. And it gets you access to our members-only Discord, which is pretty cool too.
It is poppin'.
Yeah. As the kids would say, it's popping in the Discord. So,
Oh my
okay.
God.
We'll see you guys after the game. Bye.
Ahoy,
Bye.
hoy.